How is it going, guys? Welcome to a $700 gaming PC build. Now, for whatever reason, I've been getting a lot of requests to do this video, and I looked back and I haven't done a $700 build in about a month. I did a $700 Intel build, but a lot of people wanted an AMD version of that build, and a lot of things haven't changed from the last version of the $700 build, but that's like the most frequent request that I've been getting over the last week or two is a new $700 build. So here it is. I mean, it's basically the same thing with a few tweaks, so let's get straight into this. Alright, so for the CPU, I went with the AMD FX 6300. It's a 6-core AMD processor running at 3.5 GHz and a 4.1 GHz turbo. Now, this is a really solid CPU if you're looking to game, but not only that, it's really good for video editing and live streaming if you guys are into that. And the FX 4300 or the 4100, I can't remember what's the number off the top of my head, but the 4-core version of this CPU is only about $20 cheaper, so that 6 cores will come in handy down the line when more and more games start utilizing it. And you can see that evolution start to take place right now as we move to the next generation. So investing in a 6-core processor right now is not a bad idea. Now, I would recommend that you guys get a Cooler Master Hyper 212 with this CPU, but that would have gone over our budget, so I didn't go with that, and I just went with the 6300. But if you guys want, the Hyper 212 is something that's going to help this build a lot, and you guys can overclock the CPU. And because generally AMD stock coolers are garbage, they work, but they're pretty terrible, but you know, they get the job done. But Hyper 212 would be a really good addition to the build, so if you guys want down the line, maybe 6 months to a year down the line, you guys can pick that up for about 25 bucks. This is probably the best CPU that I would recommend that's really on a budget. It's only about $120. That is still really solid for video editing and live streaming, so that's really good right there. You can do some multimedia things with it, not just game. 4-core really can't handle live streaming. Like I've said before, I actually have a friend that has a AMD FX 4100, and he can barely live stream with it. I mean, he can live stream, but he'll have to lower the resolution, play in windowed mode. You guys get the drift, get bad frame rates. It's, you know, a 6-core is just going to help a lot in those kinds of things. So for the motherboard, something I used a lot, Asus M5A97, really solid motherboard for only $99. Actually, there's a $15 off promo code on Newegg right now, so if you guys are gonna buy on Newegg, make sure you get this soon, because this promo code ends on July 22nd, so $15 off your motherboard, only $85 for this motherboard. Really solid price for a decent motherboard. Now, you can crossfire SLI in this build, but I usually don't recommend that. You guys already know what I always say. If you guys want a heftier graphics card, instead of crossfiring or SLI, just sell the graphics card you're using and then buy something that would be up to your expectations. Now, a lot of good features on this motherboard. 4 RAM slots, so you guys can upgrade to 16 gigabytes of RAM down the line. Supports up to 2133 RAM, so really good motherboard. For the RAM, I went with G.Skill Ripjaws X Series, 8GB, 2 4GB sticks running at 1866 speed. Now, this comes to the market about $72. Kind of hefty price, but if you guys look around on Newegg, there's a lot of times where they have 15% off or $10 off promo codes, so shop around for that. You guys might be able to find some good deals depending on when you are buying this build. And it's 8GB of RAM. I really can't say much more, but like I said before, the motherboard has 4 RAM slots, so you guys can upgrade to 16GB down the line. Just right now, 16GB really doesn't help all too much, but down the line it might become more of a necessity, which that's going to be a long time because, you know, you can still get by easily with 4GB to this day. But with next generation consoles moving into the 8GB RAM department, 8GB is probably going to start becoming a necessity very soon. So having 8GB right now is not a bad idea. For the graphics card, I went with the EVGA GeForce GTX 760 GDDR5 2GB. Really solid graphics card, and this is the ACX cooler, which the ACX cooler, not only is it really good performance-wise, but it just looks completely badass. Like, guys, Google image a picture of it, or it'll come up on the screen right now. The ACX cooler just looks awesome. Like, it is a badass looking card. And the 760, really good card. And it's funny because about a month ago I was avoiding this card like the plague, but it's really good for the value right now. And you also get Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist, which is a really solid game. Or it's not even out yet, but Splinter Cell games have been known to be really good, so this probably will follow suit. Also, if you guys don't want the game, I'm sure you guys can easily sell it since the demand for the game is pretty high right now. The only negative negative about getting this game is you have to use Uplay's god-awful Uplay service, Ubisoft's Uplay service. That service is just god-awful, but you guys get a free game, so I guess live with it. I will be buying this game, but I'll be getting it on Steam and not Uplay. Basically 2 layers of DRM, but I like having the Steam overlay and whatnot. I'm just anal like that. Alright, for the power supply, I went with the Corsair Enthusiast Series TX650. It's 650 watt power supply. Really good power supply, and it's only $70 after a $20 mail-in rebate, and there's also a $10 off promo code on Newegg right now, so if you guys can pick this up by July 22nd, you guys can actually get a pretty damn good deal on it. Now, this power supply is 80+ certified, it's bronze certified, so it's going to be able to power the build no problem. Unfortunately, you guys won't be able to go for an SLI or Crossfire configuration with this power supply, but if you guys do want to go for an SLI or Crossfire configuration, you guys can pick up like a TX750 or TX850, and that will get the job done. So yeah, there we go with that. For the hard drive, I went with Western Digital WD Blue 1TB. 1TB hard drive. You guys know what I always say, if you have a hard drive that you can salvage from a previous build, you can either skip this step entirely, or you can get a 60GB or 120GB SSD. That's up to you on whether or not you guys want an SSD. Finally, for the case, I went with the Cooler Master Half 912 mid-tower case. This is about $50, and this is a really awesome case. I actually run this case, so or have this case. You can't really run a case, but I actually have this case for my build, and it just works flawlessly. A lot of good features, a lot of good ventilation, and a lot of good room for added accessories. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Remember to subscribe, like this video, and comment, and I will catch you guys later. Peace!